Hey everybody, welcome to the Gateway to Grace call. So we're going to do some resonance repatterning today. My name's Elizabeth Tobin. I am a certified resonance repatterning practitioner, and we're going to do a group session today. So I never know what's going to happen in these sessions, and I always tell people just show up as you are with whatever's coming up for you, and we'll see what we're going to do with the repatterning. If you are watching the recording, you can also take part in the session, because when we are working with energy, we are working beyond time and space. And so you can take part in a session after the fact. You just need to set your intention and give me permission to include you in the group session. As one of my colleagues say, the hologram is anticipating you. And I just love that, because when we're working with energy, it's like you find these sessions at the time that is most beneficial for you, and you can receive the benefits. So welcome and thank you, everybody. So there's a lot of different ways that we can enter into a group session. And I'm just going to use muscle checking to tap into the groups field and see what is needed. So I'm just kind of putting us on here. Here we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is let's do a little centering and grounding. And I'm just going to invite you to take this time. Well, this session will probably be about an hour. And just really give yourself the gift of presence in this hour, so that you are not multitasking. Close out any other browsers, any other devices you might be using, and just really bring yourself into this session fully. So I'm just going to ask that you just sit back and close your eyes and just start by breathing, just connecting with your breath. Breathing in and out as deeply as you can. And as you breathe in, breathe all the way down into your lower back. Fill up your belly like a balloon, expanding out at your ribs. Nice long exhales. And check in with your body. Notice any places of holding or tension. And just breathe into those areas, filling them up with energy and breath and light. And as you breathe out, just breathe out any holding, any tension. And with each exhale, feel yourself release and relax and let go. And now bring your attention into your heart center. And as you breathe in, take in that unconditional love that flows throughout the universe. And as you breathe out, send out that unconditional love that resides within you. So there's a perfect balance, a perfect exchange of energy and love on the inflow and on the outflow. And know that you're surrounded by love, both within and without. And we surround ourselves in the healing energy of divine love. Only our deepest wisdom and highest guidance come through in this session. This session brings about the highest healing, transformation, and coherence for each of our highest and best. And each one of us, on all levels, in all systems and dimensions and timelines, accepts the full benefit that this session offers. We thank our highest guidance for assisting us in this process. And we give thanks for the gift of resonance repatterning and the greater well-being made possible through this session. And so it is. And now I'm just going to ask, may I have your permission to muscle check your field as part of the group field? And you can set your intention and just say yes if you'd like to be included. And that's for people who are live here on the call, anybody who's watching the video afterward. Very good. Okay. I'm just gonna get myself a little blankie here. It's a little chilly today here in Massachusetts. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just check in with the group field and find out what the best way is to start a session. So in this process, I use muscle checking to tap into the group field. And so all of the information comes from you and your energy field as part of the group field. So it's kind of like we're taking a consensus of the group with the intention that we are going to identify and transform whatever patterns are common to everybody in the group. And by doing so, we'll bring everybody in the group to a higher level of coherence, vitality, energy, and well-being. And so there are a few different options for entering into a session. And the first thing I'm going to find out is just how are we going to approach today's session? How are we going to do this? So it's best for us at this time to do the seat of transformation. Okay, I'm getting a no on that. It's best for us at this time to do a proxy session with the group input. Yes, okay. And I'll explain what that is as we go through. And so it's best at this time for us to get any issues or intentions from the group that's assembled here. Yes, okay, great. So basically what we're going to start with is just getting some group input here. So what is it that you would like to transform today? What's up for you? Whether it's an issue, a problem, an intention, what's going on in your life that you'd like some support with? And you can unmute yourself, or you could use the raise your hand feature. So anybody like to add anything here? So Barbara, yes.
You mean Barb, me?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just having a lot of painful feelings. I think they're around that I can't feel love. And I just feel aloneness. And it's like I want this mama energy. And if she was here, she wouldn't be able to do it anyway. And I just feel like I just want someone to hold me. I just feel very alone, and it's a very old story, and I feel like I can't transform it or transmute it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Barb. Hey, Deborah. Hi, friend. It's Deborah.
Deborah, yes. Hey,
Hi. So good to see you. And thank you for this. Yeah, right on that same vein would be fear that feels like anger. Fear that feels like anger, constant fear that feels like anger, and the need to shine light on it. It's that roller coaster that if I don't smile, I'll cry.
Ah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so there's no difference between what Barb just said and I'm saying. I'm just shining some light on it, I
Yeah.
would think. Um,
And Deborah,
so
where do you feel that fear that feels like
yeah,
anger? Where's that in your
well,
body?
well, and I'm an empath. I had shoulder pain all night long. I had shoulder pain all night long. Um, it's definitely metamorphosizing in body pain. I had a fibromyalgia attack all yesterday. I don't remember a moment that I wasn't in physical pain. Um, so yeah, needing to bring healing on that level. Spiritual is great. I got the spiritual going on.
Right,
Physical, mental, emotional. It's a constant vigilance. It's constant vigilance, and that's okay. I would like a little break from it.
yeah, gotcha.
Thank you.
And we'll add in the physical,
Please.
definitely. Yeah, for sure. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's see, we got just Tabitha. Can you unmute yourself here?
Hello, thank you as well for this.
Okay.
I think in essence it's to stay in this spiral up state so that I trust my heart and that I can just sort of dance with or be with whatever I need to be with, that I can stay coherent with whatever happens and however I feel.
Right, great. Whatever happens. Beautiful. Thank you. So I'm just taking notes here as as you guys are sharing. We got D. Arian Norman. She's got her hand raised.
I'm gonna raise my hand.
Can you unmute yourself?
Hi.
There you are. Yes.
Thank you so much for this. My friend Starlight's been telling me to come for years.
Oh, glad you're here.
So I've been having such extraordinary panic attacks and self-doubt and anger and judgment that I can't work. I work for myself, and I have found myself actually unable. I have to hang up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, goodbye. Can't do this for you." Hang up, which means I don't have money, which is also an old thing.
Right. Okay. All right. And
Thank you.
great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Okay. Let me see here. We had Letitia, I see you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, I would just like to work on stuff relating to my family, specifically my father figure, and the pain that I think that manifests in my body. Like right now, my right wrist is like killing me, and it started the other day when I submitted a poem about him to campus to be published, and I haven't touched that poem in years, but I think it's just like the poem and submission and expression and physical stuff. It's just a little overwhelming. And I think it gets in the way of me receiving the things that are good for me to receive.
Great. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And let's see. Johanna. you've got your hand raised.
Hi there.
Hey, there you are, yes.
Lower hand. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to, I feel a tightness in the upper back between the shoulder blades, like left and right of the spine. And when I move and try to shake it off, I start burping a lot. And I feel sometimes, or what came up, the image that came up now is like, you know, when you tap a baby on the back to make it burp.
Yes.
And I'm waiting for somebody to tap me on the back so that I can get the final burp out. It's like I keep burping, but the final release doesn't come. And so I just keep burping and burping. And I wish for that final burp to bring some more clarity and alignment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. We've got Henny, and then we'll go to Sharon.
Awesome.
Where's Henny? Can you unmute yourself? Okay. Why don't we go to Sharon, and then we'll come back to Henny, and then Lori. Sharon, you have something to share?
I would like to explore ways of being more receptive to the light that is coming into us from the outer beings and places. I think that I feel that there's a block that is keeping me anyway from actually being as receptive as I could be. And I think that I feel that I need that light. I need to have all of that energy and well-being embodied in me.
Mm. Embodied is a good word. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, Lori, did you have something?
I I am going to be moving, and I've been going through a lot of old journals and papers, and just stress around the move. And I went through something that was like from 10 years ago, and my whole system just kind of wanted to shut down. So I guess allowing myself to clear things and get rid of things, and I feel, it's affecting my gastrointestinal, and anyway, so I just need help in clearing my energy blocks so that I can get what I need to get done. And it just seems everything else feels good and calm, but that is really I don't know, it just seems to be affecting me on a physical level, an emotional level.
Right.
And reliving the past, going through these things is very painful. And sometimes they're good things, but sometimes they're things that just bring up the trauma of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let me just circle back here. Henny, you've got your hand up. Just want to check in with you. No, okay. All righty. Well, let's see what we need to do next. So thank you, everybody. So we've got quite a lot of different aspects, and there are some similarities as well. And that's what I find when we work in a group, that even though the outer experiences are unique to each of us, the underlying patterns are very similar. So let's see what we need to do. So at this time, it's best for us to identify sort of the common pattern underneath all of this. Yes, and we need to do that by looking at the sharing that people have given us. No, okay. This is something that I need to get from the group field. Yes, okay. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to take a pause here and just kind of tap into the group field and see what is the pattern here that we need to work with today. So I'm just kind of doing automatic writing here, just tapping into the field and letting it flow through and just writing it down. Okay, so I'm going to check here. There's something more that's needed. No, so we have it here. Yes, okay. It's this one, it's this one, and it's this one. Okay, so this is what we've got. This is a general check. So I get triggered into old patterns of fear, anger, trauma, and protection. My need for protection blocks me from the light. And we are resonating with that. So that is on. I'm going to pop that into the chat box here. So you can see that, and you can say that out loud and just notice what that feels like as you say that. Notice what it feels like in your body. And so Henny had put in the chat box issues of sadness and anger came up, not to be loved by my parents when I saw how much love my son and daughter-in-law give my first 6-month-old child. Oh, that mother love again. Yeah. Yeah. Jody, I know you're going to thrive. Yeah. So let's see what we need to do. So now we need to go into the mandala. And what's needed here is something from orientation, problems into opportunities, an intention for a new possibility. There is a repatterning that's needed, yes. And the repatterning that we need at this time is something from A, something from B. And it's number 1, it's number 2, it's number 3, it's number 4, it's number 5. So there's an earlier experience. The earlier experience repatterning is what's needed. So I'm going to see. we're going to do this one. We just go to that section here, the earlier experience repatterning. So it's not the earlier experience in and of itself that causes our life and our relationship problems in the past and in the present. It's the unconscious beliefs, the perceptions, and the feelings that we had in response to that earlier experience that need to be resolved. And so when our needs are not met, our sympathetic nervous system moves into a stress activation in order to handle what appears to be a life-threatening situation. And this is especially true if this earlier experience goes back to infancy or childhood. So this repatterning identifies the needs that were not met. And then we may get into the negative belief that we had at that time. So it sort of like untangles an earlier experience and the responses that we had that keep getting reactivated and triggered in the present moment. So I'm just going to check here. What is needed is something more from the introduction. No, okay. There's something that we need at this time. We need to identify the age of the earlier experience. Yes, okay. And so the age that we need to focus on is something from prenatal. It's something from number 2. It's number 1, number 2, number 3. So it's something from the 6 to 10-year-old age. And we need to be more specific than that. No. So you might have something that comes right up to the top of your mind into your awareness. Or you might be thinking, I don't know what was going on in my life from 6 to 10 years old. So just kind of sit with that a moment and just see what awarenesses come up for you around that age. And it might be a memory, it could be a thought, a feeling, it might just be like a vague sense of something. And that's fine. And I'm just going to check. We need to be more specific in terms of this earlier experience. No, okay. So when we're working with the group, as I mentioned, we each have our own unique experiences, and yet the underlying patterns from that experience can be very similar. And that's really what we're looking at. And it's okay if you don't get a specific experience that comes into your awareness. Just sort of put yourself in that age group of 6 to 10 years old. So obviously we're working with your inner child. And what we need now is something from here. There's something from this section that's needed. No, okay. There's something from this section that's needed. So I'm just going through to see what's needed from this repatterning. It's anything from this section, something from here. something from here. Yeah. So we're working 6 years old to 10 years old, and the developmental stage that we go through from like 6 years old to 12 years old is the need for structure. And so what's needed here is something from here, it's something from here. So I'm just going to check here. It's something from 1 through 5. It's number 1. It's number 2. And so this is a parental message, okay? So this is a parental message that you can think before you say yes or no, and learn from your mistakes. So this is a parental message that we did not get at that time. And I'm just going to check to see, we need to hear this from mother. Yes. I just popped it into the chat room here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you to just take a pause, and I'm going to say this. It's going to be as if you're hearing this from your mother. You can think before you say yes or no, and you can learn from your mistakes. And we are not resonating with hearing that developmental message from our mother at that time. I'm just going to check there's another developmental message. No. And then just sort of I'm going to say it again. I just want you to just feel that inside your body. You can think before you say yes or no, and you can learn from your mistakes. Just let that land in your body and notice what it feels like. There's an unmet need that we need to identify from that time. Yes. And the need is something from number 1. Yeah. So it's the need for security, nurturance, and love. And it's something from the list here from number 1, number 2, number 3. Everything is provided for. So I'm going to check our resonance with that need. And this is a general check. Everything is provided for. Okay, so it looks like we're resonating with that, but we know that we're only identifying patterns that need to change. And so I'm going to go check this at a deeper level, at a core level. I'm going to do an umbilical check. Everything is provided for. Yeah, and we are not resonating with that. It's like flatline, no energy for that. So that's umbilically off. Okay. And then there's something from here. Yes. So this is the brain-body posture that this response is getting reactivated in the present moment. And it's something from number 1. It's number 2. Yes. So this is about being prepared for action even when no action is needed. So it's like our nervous system mobilizes us for that fight-flight response, and it gets stuck there that we can't turn it off. And that might be where the fear and the anger and the need to feel protected is coming from, because we're in this constant sort of ready for action, it's hard to relax. We can't relax into our life. We can't relax into receiving. And this is a general check. And you can say this out loud. Say, I am prepared for action, even when no action is needed. Yeah, and we're resonating with that. And just notice where you feel that in your body. You know, I'm thinking about Johanna, you know, you might notice whether does that make your back feel tighter, or maybe it loosens it up. Just sometimes just identifying a pattern can loosen it up. You know, Letitia, what does that feel like in your wrist? Does it feel like there's an opening there, or maybe it feels like a contraction, or maybe you're noticing it somewhere else in your body? Okay. So there's something from this section that we need to look at. There's something from this section. There's something from here. So this is the planetary correlation that's somehow associated with that earlier experience. So this is like the astrological influence that was at play in our lives at that time. And so the planetary frequency that we need to identify is 1 through 5. It's number 1. It's number 2. It's number 3. So this is the Mercury frequency. And it's interesting because we just came out of Mercury retrograde a couple of weeks ago, maybe not even a couple of weeks ago, and we're still in the retrograde shadow. So Mercury frequency is needed. And the Mercury frequency is something that we need to switch off, yes. And it's number 1, it's number 2. So I communicate ineffectively is what's needed to switch off. You know, I'm thinking about, Letitia had mentioned she just submitted that poem. That's a communication. I'm also thinking about Laurie and reading your journals, right? That journal is kind of a communication from the past. Thinking about Barb, you know, having to hang up when you're on the phone. You know, I can't communicate right now. So this is a general check. So say I communicate ineffectively. And we're resonating with that. Okay, so what we're identifying here is just all these patterns that need to shift. And then we need the coherent or the positive aspect of Mercury retrograde, yes. And it's something from number 1, it's number 2, it's number 3. I communicate effectively is what we need. And this is a general check. Okay, so say I communicate effectively. Yeah, it looks like we're resonating. So I'm going to check that at a core level. Yeah, we have no energy for that in this context. So that's umbilically off. Yeah. And again, just stay connected with your body. Just notice what you're feeling. You might notice a little releasing. You might notice some opening, maybe some expansion. You might notice maybe there's a little trembling going on. Whatever it is, and just keep breathing. Just going to have a little sip of water here. It's good to drink water. Excellent. Yeah. As we go through and shift these patterns, keep the energy moving. Okay. So there's another planetary aspect we need to identify. No. Okay. There's a specific color frequency that we need to support the creation of new neural pathways in relationship to these patterns that we have identified. Yes. Okay. So the color that is needed is 1 through 5, 6 through 10, it's number 6, it's number 7. So I think we're going to work with the color turquoise. Turquoise is very calming. Turquoise. It's a calming effect on the mind and emotions. It's for regeneration, refreshment, and resourcefulness. On the physical level, it builds skin. It's good for wrinkles. It's good for infections, burns, and wounds. It dissipates pain. Thinking about Deborah and the fibro pain. It's cerebrally calming. It's good for insomnia. It lowers fevers. It relieves headaches. The element associated with turquoise is zinc. Okay. So I have these color filter lenses that I'm going to wear as proxy for all of you. And so what this is going to do is going to help us and support us and optimize our ability to absorb and radiate the turquoise spectrum. So we know that we are made up of frequencies, color, light, sound. And so right now it would be really beneficial for our system to be able to absorb and radiate the frequencies in the spectrum that we know as the color turquoise. And I'm just going to check here. So we need to look in a particular direction. We do. Okay. So it's left, right, it's up. So I'm going to be looking up. There's any eye movements that's needed with this? No. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you, and you can even like visualize the color turquoise if you like. I'm just going to ask you to just relax and breathe as I do this. And there's any sound needed with this? Is anything else needed with this? No. Okay. So I got these turquoise lenses. I'm looking up. And this is just as if you were wearing these turquoise glasses. And just notice what it feels like. I noticed that my eyes feel kind of tense, but yet my solar plexus is relaxing. And we know that the eyes and the solar plexus in polarity therapy are connected. And now I'm feeling a little tension in my back around my shoulder blades. And just blow it out. There's a little tightness in my throat. Okay, so the energy's moving. And just notice what you're feeling in your body. You could even you can even speak it out loud, what you notice in your body. And just bringing your awareness helps to release the patterns and create new neural pathways. And this is complete. Yes. Okay. Good. Wow, it seems really bright now. Okay. Just going to take a little pause and let that integrate. Okay. You might just want to bobble your head. Sometimes it gets locked up in the neck. So to keep the energy moving, maybe even just move your fingers and your wrists, move your elbows and your ankles, just very gently. Okay. So there's another modality that we need at this time. Yes. Okay. And the modality that's needed at this time is something from Spiral Up. Yes. So the repatterning process has lots of different ways to shift the energy. And it incorporates elements from movement, light, sound, energy contacts. We might work with a chakra or work with a meridian point. We might do some toning. We might do a breathing pattern. And we just tap into the group energy and ask the group energy, what's the most effective way to shift these patterns so that everybody moves to a higher level of energy, coherence, and well-being, basically, so everybody feels better. So the option that we need here is something from A, something from B, something from C. So we're going to do some color and light. We need something from 1 through 5. It's 6 through 10. It's 6. It's 7. It's 8. Okay, so we're going to continue the theme of working with color and light. And this time, we are going to use the color filter torch. So the color that we need is 1 through 5, 6 through 10. It's number 6. It's number 7. It's number 8. It's number 9. So now we're going to go to indigo. So we're still working in the blue spectrum, going from turquoise to indigo. And indigo calms the thyroid, it stimulates the parathyroid, it reduces swelling, it has an anesthetic effect, it relieves pain. Again, that theme of pain relief. Tones and tightens the skin. It's calming, it has a sedative effect. So calming is another theme that we're working with here, like calming that anger, calming that fear, calming that aloneness, that separation that people were feeling. So I have here, this is a color filter torch with the color indigo, and I'm just going to see what we need with this. So we need to shine this on an acupuncture point, Jinshin, on a cranial bone. Yes. Okay. Any place else? No. Okay. We need to shine it through a crystal. No. Okay. So we're going to shine this indigo on a cranial bone. So let me just see here. So I have a chart with the cranial bones here. And so this is going to be just as if I'm shining this light right on your skull. So the cranial bones, so this is taken, it's like an element of craniosacral therapy. So there is this fluid in the spinal cord that we know that we can balance sort of the rhythm of that fluid by working with the cranial bones. The cranial bones, they actually have very subtle movement. They're not fixed. Okay, so what we need here is A, B, C. So this is going to be on the temporals, which are like right on the side of the head. I don't know if you can see this. The temporals are what we're going to work with here. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Temporals. This is the area that we're working with. And what I'm going to do is just shine this indigo light right there. And I'm just going to check, there's anything else needed with this? No. Okay. So taking this indigo light and shining it right there on the chart. And it's going to be just as if I'm shining it right there. And this is just putting the book down because it's a lot easier to shine it there. So this is on the right side and it's on the left side. So it's both sides. And so if you want, you can just a very light touch on the side of your head, just sort of like right over your ears. And just relax and breathe. I can see some of you are yawning. Good, good. Just shining that light. Restoring some of the natural rhythm in the craniosacral fluid. Restoring natural rhythm to our body, to our emotions, to our whole system. And this is complete. Yes. Okay. Very good. Good. So again, we're just going to take a little pause, let that integrate, and just notice what that feels like in your body now. Just stay connected to your body. You know, I think the theme here is embodiment. If we want to receive higher vibrations of light, we have to really be in the body. Just blow it out. Maybe just bobble your head just very slightly. Keep the energy moving. I'm just going to have a little sip of water. And I'm just going to check. There's another modality that we need at this time. No. So now we're going to go back and recheck the statements. So we're going to start with the original pattern. And this is so repeat after me. Say, I get triggered into old patterns of fear, anger, trauma, and protection. My need for protection blocks me from the light. And we're not resonating with that. That has shifted. And just, again, stay connected to your body. Just notice what that feels like. And this is as if you're hearing this from your mother when you were between the ages of 6 and 10 years old. So just relax and receive this and really take in this message from your mother for your inner child, that 6 to 10-year-old. You can think before you say yes or no, and you can learn from your mistakes. Yeah, and we're resonating with that. Good. So that is on now. Excellent. And repeat after me, say, everything is provided for. The need for security, nurturance, and love. Everything is provided for. And we're resonating with that. Nice, that is on. And just feel the relief of that. Notice where you feel it in your body. Notice where you feel the expansion. Okay. And this is that, that stress response. Say, I am prepared for action even when no action is needed. Yeah, we're not resonating. That is off. So just let your body relax into that. There's no need to always be on high alert. Everything is provided for. You can think before you say yes or no. And you can learn from your mistakes. And just blow it out. Blow out any body tension. And now this is the Mercury frequency. Say, I communicate ineffectively. Yeah, and that's off. We're not resonating with that anymore. And then we'll check this. I communicate effectively. And that is nice and strong. We are resonating with that. Beautiful. Good. So everything has shifted, and just, again, check in with your body, staying connected into your essence. Notice how that feels. I'm just going to check. There's anything more that's needed from the session? No, the session is complete. Perfect. Good. Good. So Henny says she feels relaxed. Deborah says she feels more hopeful than helpless. Beautiful. Surrender to win. Awesome. Awesome. Great. And Ann, did you want to share something? I see. Did you have your hand raised? Ann Smith? No? Okay. Okay. Good. So If anybody has any questions or if there's anything you'd like to share, you can unmute yourself. Tabitha says she's been yawning nearly all the way through. Thank you so much. She said, thank you, Liz, and everyone. You're most welcome.
Liz?
Yes.
Hey, Deborah here.
Hey, Deborah.
Thank you. And will you be able to give a transcript? Or, I mean, I took notes anyway. I copy and pasted what you said. I just wasn't sure. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't.
did my own muscle testing on that. I got to know.
Right. So I don't do a transcript, but the call recording will be up on YouTube, and I'll send out a message when that is up. But yeah, you could definitely copy and paste the transcript. I think there's actually an option where you can save the chat. Maybe, I don't know, but you can copy and paste it for your own review. So
Thank you. I did. Thank you.
great. Great. All right. Anybody else? Any questions or anybody, anything you want to share?
This was amazing coincidence because I went to my promotions box to look for something in your email about this. It was around noon and I hadn't gotten it in my inbox. And so I went right to it. And I had just been talking to someone about my temporal lobe dysfunction and about when I did rehab for it. And
Wow.
so when you came to the temporal lobe, it was pretty amazing that that's what happened. So I think that was one of these very happy coincidences from the universe, because I, was told somewhere to, to come on and be part of this. And I just related to many of things about that hyper kind of preparedness and noticing why am I have anxiety even when it's not appropriate and necessary, or why don't I trust that everything will take care of itself. I constantly feel that hypervigilance, and somehow I have to make things happen and I don't know what the right decision is. So then I get very blocked about taking actions. And I think there is a physiological component, which we work with here, and which is why I really appreciate your work. And it just was really powerful for me. I can say that much. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's great. And I think even though a positive action didn't come up, I think it would be really helpful to just remember that statement, everything is provided for, right? That would be a really good positive action for everybody to maybe focus on that in the next few days. So thank you. Yeah. Diaria, did you have something you want to share or ask? I see you got your hand raised there. Let's see. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, I don't know how to use the machinery yet. I just wanted to second the temporal lobe thing. I just was working with a pranic healer on my temporal lobe. Thank you very much. And also everything else that came up today was very apt. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Great. Glad you joined in. That's very cool.
Me too.
Yeah. Barb, you got your hand raised there?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but I do feel I think because I'm concerned about losing this state, but
Right.
I do feel different. And I think my question is, should there be concern with the other energy pulling me back into it? Or should I not even say that?
You know, what we're doing is here on Earth, you know, it's always a process, a progression. And so, you know, just stay in the energy as long as you can. And if you feel like you're slipping and you're ready to move again into a higher state, you can listen to this recording again, you know, watch the video, do the session again. I also offer private sessions. You can reach out to me and do a one-on-one session, which is a lot more sort of specific, obviously, and tailored to you and your specific situation. But yeah, you know, I guess I'm thinking about that statement that came up, you know, you can say yes and no and make mistakes, and it's all okay. As Abraham Hicks says, you never get it done and you never get it wrong. You know, we are always in a state of becoming. So just enjoy the state that you're in now. So thank you.
A friend sent me this, so I don't know if I'm on the email where I would get the recording.
Okay, so you can go to my website, liztobin.com.
Okay.
And if you go to the events on the Gateway to Grace page, you can sign up to get the reminders. I'm going to put that in the chat box. Thanks for reminding me. See if I can get there. There's also a contact form on my website, which will bring you to the same thing. There we go.
And Liz, I just put in the Abraham Hicks one. You can't get it right. You can't get it wrong.
Cool.
So if anybody wants that meditation, grab it from the chat. It's a 15-minute meditation.
Okay, so I just put the link in, go to the Gateway to Grace sign up page. Great. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This was, as always, I call these like adventures in transformation. You never know where the energy is going to take us. You never know how the session is going to unfold. And it's always an adventure and it's always transformational. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll be back next month, first Monday of the month at noon Eastern time. It'll be Eastern Daylight Time by then. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you.
Thank you, Liz, so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Liz. Blessings tenfold to you. Blessings tenfold.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Love you, Liz.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.